Okay, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. So we were discussing this, the last masah we were discussing here was this, that Imam Abu Yusuf, he says that it will be good for the Muazzin to separately go to the Imam, the Khalifa, the leader of the Muslims, and remind him about Salat, and says, yeah, the Ibarat is in the Kitab, he says, يقول المؤذن للأمير في الصلاة كل السلام عليك أيها الأمير, that peace be upon you, O our leader, ورحمة الله وبركاته, حي على الصلاة, حي على الفلاح, come for salah, الصلاة يرحمك الله, may Allah have mercy upon you. But واستبعده محمد رحمه الله تعالى, Imam Muhammad, he didn't consider it good to do this. He said, no, why should we do this here? It's not necessary, right? Why he says لأن الناس سواسية في أمر الجماعة. Say, look here, like how Jama'at is faraz upon the ordinary person, right? It is also faraz upon who? It is faraz upon the Imam. There's no difference to say it is more obligatory on the Imam or it is less obligatory on the Imam. They are all addressed, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة بيوم الجمع أقم الصلاة. The Amr that commands them, exhorts them to do the salah is all the same. So why must they get preferential treatment? لأن الناس سواسية في أمر الجماعة, right? وأبو يوسف خصهم بذلك لزيادة اشتغالهم بأمور المسلمين كي لا تفوتهم الجماعة. So he said everybody is the same. But Imam Yusuf's reason is, look here, everybody is the same. We agree everybody is the same. But see, these leaders, they are busying themselves with the welfare of the Muslims. He's a qazi, he's making decisions, he's a mufti, he's helping, he's guiding the people, etc. So, because they have dedicated their life to the deen, etc., they are serving the ummah, they are making khidmat, hum yakhdumuna al-khalqa. So they must be given some separate preferential treat to say, well, Abu Yusuf said, khassahum bizalika. He's made them specific with that, لزيادة اشتغالهم, because of the extra occupation بأمور المسلمين, with the matters of Muslim, كي لا تفوتهم الجماعة, so that the Jama'at does not miss them, right? ولا هذا القاضي والمفتي, and like that is also the Qazi and the Mufti. They must get preferential treatment. Why? Because of them. Right. Okay, read the next bar, inshallah. Okay, interesting. Before we look the next one, um, the next masala I tell you is, look here, that you shouldn't, in all the salats, right, besides the Fajr salah, in fact, not in the Fajr, but all salats, there should be a break between the Azaan and the Iqamat. It shouldn't flow in one. It shouldn't flow in one. They say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَيَجْلِسُ بَيْنَ الْأَذَانِ وَالْإِقَامَةِ إِلَّا فِي الْمَغْرِبِ. That he must sit a little while between the Azan and the Iqamat, except in Maghrib. And in fact, there's another riwayat. Another riwayat of Nabi Sallallahu said, بين كل أذانين صلاة. بين كل أذانين صلاة. That between every two azans is a salat. So what do you mean between the two azans? The azan as we know it, and the iqamah, because the iqamah is also azan. Maybe it's not in the technical sense, it's not azan, but it's a azan means like a announcement, a call out. So that is also one of the proofs. Like if you look, we're discussing this by the way, maybe it will come later in the kitab. There isn't a specific hadith that speaks about the 4 rakats of Sunnah before Isha. There isn't, we don't have a specific hadith. But the Hanafi say you must read 4. And they use this riwayat. We say, بَيْنَ كُلِّ أَذَانَيْنِ إِقَامَةٌ. Between every 2 announcements is a salat, right? So we use that riwayat there, right? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, وَيَجْلِسُ بَيْنَ الْأَذَانِ وَالْإِقَامَةِ إِلَّا فِي الْمَغْرِبِ. And he will sit between the Izan and the Iqamat, إِلَّا فِي الْمَغْرِبِ, except in the Maghrib Salat. So what I say in the Maghrib Salat, you don't have to sit. You can, they don't have to be like how I told you, a pause. As we said there's a hadith that said that you shouldn't delay. Carry on. وَهَذَا in the Abi Hanifata. So as Imam Hanifa says, yes, between the 4 salawat besides Maghrib, you'll have that pause where you read some sunnats, etc., etc. But in Maghrib, you don't have to have that pause, right? The muazzin can go straight after giving the azan, obviously reading his sunnah dua. He can go straight to the musalla and he can give the iqamah. And we're going to give you the reasoning here, right? So وهذا عند أبي حنيفة وقال يجلس في المغرب أيضا جلسة خفيفة. So Sahibain says even in Maghrib you must still sit for a short while. Why must you still sit for a short while? Because there is a hadith that says that you shouldn't do the iqamat immediately after Azaan. Understood that? So that's so you say وقال يجلس في المغرب أيضا جلسة خفيفة. So why they say لأنه لا بد من الفصل, because there should be some type of separation. لأنه لا بد من الفصل, there should be a separation between the two. Why? إذ الوصل, what وصل or وصل? إذ الوصل مكروه, right? So he's saying that to do it immediately, right? Join it, it is makruh. You must differentiate between the azan and you must differentiate by the iqamah by sitting a little while there, right? By sitting a little while, you understood? ولا يقع الفصل بالسكتة لوجودها بين كلمات الأذان فيصل بالجلسة كما بين الخطبتين. Interesting ibarat here. The next ibarat is saying this here. Look here. A mere pause is not sufficient. A mere pause is not sufficient. Because we also have a pause between the different words of the azan, right? We also have setting to show that the azan is separate to the iqamat. Are you with me? You understood that? That's what he's saying. وَلَا يَقَعُ الْفَصْلُ, a separation will not take place بِالسَّكْتَةِ, by the mere pause. Why? لِوُجُودِهَا بَيْنَ كَلِمَاتِ الْأَذَانِ, because you have that same pause, right? بَيْنَ كَلِمَاتِ الْأَذَانِ, between the azan. So that pause between the kalimat of that, it does not separate between the azan. So why should it be good enough to separate between the azan and iqamah? You understood? Yeah, he must read the musnud dua, yes. You can start with the iqamah. It's coming, the reasoning is coming here. They're telling you now why Imam Hanifa says he don't have to sit. That's all coming. He's saying, Imam Hanifa is saying this. Like, you see, Sahibain is building the case. Look here, you must sit to differentiate between the two. Okay, since you asked the question, I'll tell you before the time. Sahibain saying, look here, you must sit between the azan and iqamah to show it is two different things, right? Understood? Imam Hanifa say, no, it's not necessary to sit. Why? Because it is already separated. Why it's already separated? Even though it is not a big break in between, but look here, the azan is called in a different place and the iqamah is called in a different place. The ratio is separated. The style of the azan is different. You slow when you call the azan, ويترسل, and iqamat ويتحدد, you give it fast. So even though there's no physical gap, but the style in which it is called out already shows it's the separation. There's no fear of it being confused or mixed up. You understood what I'm saying? So that's why Imam Hanifa say, yes, we agree with you, Sahibain, that you must differentiate between the azan and iqamat, but that differentiation does not need a break or does not need a jalsa, because that differentiation comes in the form of the style and also in a different place. You understood? So that's why. So obviously the fatwa is on Imam Hanifa's call. I told you most of the time in the Babul Salat, Taharat, all Ibadat, Imam Hanifa is most cautious. So the fatwa is normally given on his call. And also why he's saying you don't have to sit, because remember, Nabi Sallallahu said you must hasten with the Maghrib. You mustn't delay the Maghrib, remember. So see there. Uh, so this is Sahibain's opinion. No, a mere pause is not good enough. You must have a jalsa. He said, وَلَا يَقَعُ الْفَصْلُ بِالسَّكْتَةِ. He's saying the separation will not be sufficient by just the normal pause, small pause. Why? Because لِوُجُودِهَا بَيْنَ كَلِمَاتِ الْأَذَانِ. You have the same pause between the azan. So you must have a longer pause to right between the words of the azan. You must have a longer pause to show this is something different. You understood that? So لِوُجُودِهَا بَيْنَ كَلِمَاتِ الْأَذَانِ. So you must have a longer pause to show that this is not just a break between the azan itself, but it's a break between the azan and the iqamah. This is saying, فَيَصِلُ بِالْجَلْسَةِ. So you must separate between the two, كَمَا بَيْنَ الْخُطْبَتَيْنِ, like how in the khutbah. So he's saying, see, Sayyid is using the khutbah as a proof. See, in the khutbah, we say you must have two khutbahs, right? So we don't say the imam must just stop his one khutbah. He can stop for 1 minute, take a breath, and continue the next khutbah. And we say there that the sakta is good enough. No. We say he must pause for a while and he must sit to show that it is two separate khutbahs. So same thing here also. Sayyid is saying you must sit and pause and show that azan is different from the iqamah. You with me? So we'll say, we're going to answer all this. So you understood Sayyid dalil. Saying like how in the azan you have to sit and pause to show it's different. The azan is different from iqamah. You must do the same thing here. وَلِأَبِي حَنِيفَةَ. Imam Abu Hanifa says, أَنَّ التَّأْخِيرَ مَكْرُوهٌ. We say, look here, to sit like how you're saying, or like how the other imams say, you must actually read 2 rakats, whatever, that is makruh. Because we know the hadith, Jibreel came on the first day and he read the Maghrib at the same time, and the next day he read the Maghrib on the same time. It's unlike the other salawat, there was no big gap in between. And why? That was to show that, look here, you must read Maghrib and the entry time, there's no break, there's no fasal. So we say, أَنَّ التَّأْخِيرَ مَكْرُوهٌ, right? So it's makruh to delay. فَيَكْتَفِي بِأَدْنَى الْفَصْلِ. So since makruh is, or rather delay is makruh, we will suffice فَيَكْتَفِي بِأَدْنَى الْفَصْلِ, with the smallest break. Why? احترازا عنه, to abstain from the ta'khir. So we'll have a small break. And how will that break manifest itself? Not in the form of a jalsa of sitting, because that's too long. وَالْمَكَانُ فِي مَسْأَلَتِنَا مُخْتَلِفٌ. So we're answering here the 2 proofs of Sahibain. Sahibain said, look here, between the khutbah, you have to sit. And he said, look here, in between the azan, you have a break. But that's not good, right? We say, look here, this is different. In a khutbah, you're on the same place. So if you just pause, it could be misunderstood that you only gave 1 khutbah. But here, when you're calling out the azan in the minaret, and you're calling out the iqamat behind the imam, it's quite clear that it's 2 different things. It's sufficient to say it is not the same thing, but it's 2 different things. You understand what I'm saying? That we're saying, وَلَمَكَانُ فِي مَسَالِتَ مُخْتَلِفَةٌ. And he's saying, وَكَذَا النَّغْمُ. Also, the style. The azan is given in a different style, and the iqamah is given in a different style. So the naghmu is also different. فَيَقَعُ الْفَصْلُ بِالسَّكْتَةِ. So the fact that the place is different, the style is different, etc. That's why a small break, and that is when the time from the imam or the muazzin, the time he goes from the minaret to the mihrab, or rather to the place, that is sufficient to say, right? He's saying, وَلَا كَذَلِكَ الْخُطْبَةُ. And he's saying, look here, khutbah is different. Khutbah is on the same place. It's the same style. That's why you need to have a sufficient, a glaring, a jarring difference between, to show that it is a different, right? Carry on. Right. Hazrat Imam Shafi rahimahullah ta'ala says that you must read 2 rakats. وقال الشافعي يصل بركعتين اعتبارا بسائر صلوات. Like how all the salawat has like 2 rakats. We say والفرق قد ذكرناه. We've given the proof to show why Maghrib is different from all the other salawat. The other salawat, there's no problem in delaying it. There's no prohibition for delaying it. But with regards to Maghrib, there's a prohibition for delaying it. And we say that the differentiation will come in the form of what? The differentiation will come in the form of the different majlis. Differentiate will come in the form of the different style. So there's no need to read two rakats between it. You understood? Read the next one. Yeah, Yaqub was who? Is Imam Abu Yusuf. So he said, قال يعقوب رأيت أبا حنيفة. I saw that Imam Abu Hanifa يؤذن في المغرب. He was giving azan for Maghrib once. ويقيم, and he made the iqamah. ولا يجلس بين الأذان والإقامة. He never sat. So that's is our Imam. That's our proof, right? وهذا يفيد ما قلنا. So this gives the benefit of what we're saying. It reaffirms we're saying that there's no need to sit. There's no need to read two rakats, right? The fact that the style is different, etc., is sufficient, right? وأن المستحب قول المؤذن عالما بالسنة. And from this we learn, look, Imam Hanifa was a great alim, right? In our environment, we look at who's the cheapest person we can get. We can give the least money, and then he can be the muazzin, right? But this shows, look here, who was giving azan. وأن المستحب قول المؤذن عالما بالسنة. So the fact that Imam Hanifa gave azan himself, was a great Imam of the Muslimin, shows that the preferred thing is قول المؤذن عالما, that the muazzin must be an alim بالسنة, with the sunnah of Rasulullah لقوله عليه السلام, because of the statement of Nabi Sallallahu ويؤذن لكم خياركم, right? ويؤذن, that your best people must give azan. Don't just take because somebody is cheap, you can give him a pittance or something and he will call out the azan. But this is a very lofty position. Some riwayat says that the muazzinin will have the longest necks on the day of Qiyamah, etc. It means they will have the most honorable positions. The next masla I did make it reference to before, that when even if you miss salah, then you should when you're making qaza, etc., you should call out the azan, etc. Read it. We'll discuss it, inshallah.
لأنه صلى الله عليه وسلم قضى الفجر وبات ليلة التعريس.
ليلة التعريس. Right. So if you as a Jamaat, you missed your Fajr namaz, the whole Jamaat overslept, right? Or maybe you're not in a Jamaat, you and your wife alone, you missed the Fajr namaz, Allah Ta'ala protect, and then you made qaza, but you're in a place where the azan was not called out. You're in a place, then you say, وَيُؤَذِّنُ لِلْفَائِتَةِ. You make azan for the missed, right? وَيُقِيمُ, and you make iqamah. Why? لأن النبي عليه السلام, because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قضى الفجر, he made qaza of the Fajr غداة ليلة التعريس, on the morning of the night of Ta'ris, بأذان وإقامة, with an azan and iqamah. Remember Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that night when he asked مَن يَقْرَأُ اللَّيْلَ لَنَا, who will look after the light for us. That's Bilal radiallahu anhu, I will look after, but unfortunately he also fell asleep, right? And then he woke up with the sun beating down on his face. When the Nabi woke up, he said, come, let's move from here. And they moved to another place where they read Salaah, and then he called out the azan and the iqamat, right? So right. وهو حجة على الشافعي في اكتفائه بالإقامة. This is a proof against Imam Shafi in sufficing all the other iqamah. Imam Shafi said, look here, if you miss your salah, even though you're going to be reading your qaza in Jamaat, you just have to make only iqamah, you don't have to make azan. We say, no, make azan. See, it's proven from the hadith. So even if you are one person, you miss namaz, and the place where you must be reading namaz is azan is not, hasn't been called out there, then you call out the azan. obviously with two people, the wife, whatever. Carry on.
فإن فاتت الصلاة قبل
فإن فاتته صلوات. So if Allah Ta'ala protect, if several salawat missed him, فإن فاتته صلوات أذن للأولى وأقام, he'll make, he is saying, as he can make azan for the first one and make iqama for all the others after. That is just one azan is sufficient. And then after that he will make iqama. Why? Right. Azana wa aqama. Right. So sorry, I explained wrong. So let's just say first, you must several namazes, right? So they're saying you must say three salat. So first thing what you do, in fact, to salawatun, azana lil ula, you will call out the azan for the first one, wa aqama, and it will be iqama, lima rawayna that we discussed there, because you're going to try to make the namaz in the most complete form, right? Then, after that now, after you read the first salah, now you want to read another salah. So saying, wa kana mukhayyaran fil baqi. Now he's been given a choice in the remainder. Insha'a azana, if he wish, he will give azan, right? Wa aqama. So if he so bukhayran fil baqi, if he wish. So first azan in qama. Now the remainder, he can give azan insha'a azana wa aqama. Give azan and aqama. ليقول القضاء على حسب الأداء, so that his ada, his qaza is 100% according to the ada. What I mean is, like, you miss your salah in the most complete form. Now you are paying it back. So do it as close as possible as to the original, what an azan, what an iqama, etc., etc., right? But, here a question. This refer to, yeah, he is correct. Like this, I think this more refer to, like, if example, you must now, uh, like, this refer more to, like, if you, you must now 3, 4 salahs. Now you want to catch up the salah one time. I understand what you're saying. You say now, like, taking, you got qadha umri, you're a young boy or you're a young man, you must some salawat, and you never make qadha. Um, I think it would refer to that. I think it would refer to that as well. But I think here it more refers to this here, where, like, you missed your 3 salahs, whatever reason, and now you're making up. So you're making up the immediate must salah. I think it refers more to that, right? But we can check. A good question. I never really think about it, but you need to check it up. But I think this refers more to the ones that you're making up immediately with your must, right? So they're saying, yeah, it's better if you make the azan and the iqamat. By making the azan and the iqamat, you're doing the salah in the most complete manner, right? But وإن شاء اقتصر على الإقامة, but if you wish, you can also suffice on the iqamah. لأن الأذان, he's saying, look here, لأن الأذان للاستحضار وهم حضور. That azan is primarily للاستحضار, is to call the people towards salah, right? وهم حضور, and these people are already here. So it's not necessary to give azan again. But if you do, it's okay. Carry on.
محمد رحمه الله أنه يقام لما بعدها ولا يؤذن.
Right. وَالْمُحَمَّدٍ أَنَّ يُقَامُ لِمَا بَعْدَ. According to Imam Muhammad, that you just give azan for the first one, and after that يُقَامُ لِمَا بَعْدَ. You just keep qamat. You don't have to give azan, right?
قالوا يجوز أن يكون هذا قوله.
Yeah. So the ulama say يجوز أن يكون هذا قوله. It's very possible that this opinion of just giving azan for the first one and then giving iqama for the others, it could be the opinion of all. There's no hard and fast rule, because remember, in the first place, the validity of salat is not hinged upon the azan. Here, moreover, the people are present already. So this could, according to all the imams, it could mean that yes, you can just suffice for the iqama, right? Okay, it's a nice place to stop there. We'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.